March tricks you with a few warm, sunny days. Then Colorado goes boom, here's 2 feet of snow. March is the gardening preseason in Colorado. This is the Front Range Gardener with a few tips on the things that you can do in your Colorado garden this month. Spring is the time that I like to prune my deciduous perennials. The coldest days of winter are past, so you can see any frost damage. Stems freeze from the tips, so fall pruning may make the plants more susceptible to frost damage. Prune your plants before they start to leaf out. It makes it easier to see the structure of the plant, and it won't waste energy growing stems that you later cut. I'll prune this hawthorn as soon as I can reach it through the snow. There are a variety of treatments to control insects, mites, and diseases that are applied before bud break and leaf out. I like to apply horticultural oil to control aphids on my roses and my hawthorn. A big advantage of controlling insects in March is that it won't harm beneficial insects like pollinators. If you control insects in the growing season, you may harm pollinators like bees and butterflies. If you are an organic gardener, neem oil is a useful control for many pests. Mix the horticultural oil in a garden sprayer according to the directions, then spray the plant thoroughly, wetting all of the surfaces. Colorado soils are notoriously alkaline, which makes it difficult for some trees and plants to absorb iron from the soil. Iron deficiency causes yellowing of the leaves while the veins remain green. This is called iron chlorosis. Susceptible trees include some varieties of maple, some oaks, aspen, and crabapple. Application of iron chelates prior to the growing season will prevent chlorosis. An iron chelate with EDDHA will be readily absorbed by trees and plants in the alkaline soils of Colorado. The instructions for the iron chelate say to use 1 to 4 tablespoons per inch of trunk diameter and then water it in thoroughly along the drip line of the tree. So I'm going to use about 3 tablespoons and mix it with water so that I can water it in at the same time. I'm going to apply the iron chelate along the drip line of this maple. And then water it in thoroughly. March is an ideal time to start plants from seed. It's about 2 months to the average date of last frost, which is about mid-May for most of the Front Range. However, many heat-loving plants like tomatoes and zinnias should be transplanted outdoors even later. I'm going to start some tomatoes that I anticipate transplanting in early June. I like to use peat pots. They breathe, which allows air to reach the roots. They're easy to tell when the soil is damp, and they're relatively inexpensive. I like to use a special seed potting soil, which is finer grained than your regular potting soil. Fill the pots about 2/3 of the way with the seed starter soil. And then I like to add the water before I put the seeds in. Then place at least 2 seeds into the pot. You can put more, but eventually we're going to thin it down to the one healthiest seedling. And cover the seeds with soil to the depth indicated on the planting packet. For these tomatoes, that's 1/4 inch. And cover the pot with plastic wrap. And this will keep humidity in the pot while the seed is trying to germinate. As soon as the seeds sprout, then you want to remove the plastic wrap. And then finally, you want to label it. And this is sun gold. Find a nice bright place for your seeds to grow. Heat-loving plants will sprout better if you use a heat mat to warm the soil. I'll place the tomatoes on my heat mat. Now, even though the sprouts don't need light until they actually germinate, I like to place my light on now. Use a timer to make sure that they get 14 to 16 hours of light each day. When the seedlings sprout, remove the plastic wrap. When they have 2 sets of true leaves, then you thin it down to the most vigorous seedling. When it's time to transplant, remove the peat pot. Even though it's biodegradable, it still forms a barrier to roots and water. And now the tomatoes are ready to go. Do you like large, luscious flowers in summer? If so, be sure to like this video, because I'm going to show you how to get an early start. March is a good time to start tubers like dahlias or these tuberous begonias. I use the same peat pots that I use for tomatoes, but this time I'm going to use a regular potting soil. Fill the pot about 2/3 full. Place the begonia with the rounded side down, and then cover with 1 inch of potting soil. Water it thoroughly. And don't forget to label your pot. This is a rose form pink begonia. And now it's ready to place in a bright, warm room inside your house. These are a few ideas for gardening in March in Colorado. Get out in the Colorado sunshine this month and enjoy some happy gardening.